Walking Dead with Joel and Jeremy. My name's Joel.
I'm Jeremy. We are brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can check out all of our social media sites at thisishowtowatchtv.com and email us at twdwithjoelandjeremy@gmail.com.
Got it. Yes.
That was from the hip, too. I just remembered, like, right before I started saying
I'm trying to wing all the Jay and Jack stuff now. Go to jayandjack.com/Patreon or /iTunes or... Dang it, I know there was one more. But go there and become a patron at different levels. You can support that way monetarily. You can get all the stuff on the Jay and Jack Network. So go check out all their stuff and subscribe and leave feedback and, all the iTunes-y stuff. All the...
iTunesy?
Yeah, the leaving 5-star reviews, all that stuff. Say we suck in a 5-star review. That's fine. 5-star cancels it out. Don't say we suck.
Review us 5-star and say we suck in the review.
You can write whatever you want in the review.
Just leave the 5-star. It would be great.
Yeah, that's all we ask.
If we entertained you from one side of the spectrum or another, whether you loved us or hated us, leave the 5-star review.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You can't. And if you're in the middle. So
if you just want to discuss The Walking Dead, you can do that too.
Also as well, yeah. So we're here to talk about season 8, episode 3. It's called Monsters. Overall thoughts?
What everybody was just being called monsters, and then I don't know.
I mean,
we made it halfway through the episode without actually seeing a walker.
Right.
And then they're like, "Walkers on the hill."
Well, no, they were outside the compound where Rick
that was
and Daryl were.
that was that the beginning of the episode?
I think so. We saw them right the second place we cut to from King Ezekiel. Yeah. But I don't know. It like you said earlier.
I like these openings with
the
flashing to the different things.
Oh yeah, this one was
King Ezekiel talking about being victorious.
Yeah, he rallies the troops.
I knew
because
something bad was going to happen to them. It was the whole Rob Stark thing. He was winning every battle, and they were and then I don't know. Knew something bad was going to happen by the end of that episode to the King's men.
Right. I mean, well, they were.
They got careless.
They got cocky. I mean,
they got careless at the end.
I get that his bravado genuinely pushed them to be able to succeed in the way that they have, but it made them a little too confident and ultimately backfired.
Everybody's standing out in the open, like one person in that group should have been I know we're skipping right to the end of the episode. I get it.
Well, there's one character group storyline. I don't mind doing that beginning to end.
But they somebody should have been guys, we should get behind something somewhere. We just shouldn't be standing out in the open like this.
Yeah,
period.
There's a bunch of buildings
you're
everywhere.
In a time of war. You know what I'm saying? You can't be sure you got everybody.
Right.
Especially with this, it's not regular war. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
You see him dump off the because his whole thing had been not a single person or not a single life will be lost on our side. And for the first 2 battles or whatever, not a single life was lost. And then at the end,
just ignore it.
At the end there, it flew right in my face. I had to smack at it. At the end there, I totally lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Well, you were talking about he kept saying. You wondered how he dumped off responsibility on Carol.
He got them all the way to what turned out to be Gavin's outpost. And said not a single life was lost.
Yeah, but he was
then Carol goes, well, we need to sweep this place. And he's like, okay, your call, your command.
I don't think it was just right there. He was following her plans from the beginning.
Right, but in terms of the people believing in him, for the fallacy that is the king.
Yeah, but he didn't know that was going to happen.
I know, but is it coincidental that he if anybody called him on it later, be like, well, you said this. He's like, yeah, but Carol, that was her idea. I don't think he would do that, but I think he would do that. Yeah, I think maybe there's something subliminally that it was there as a way to.
He's gonna feel bad enough about what happened.
If he didn't die,
I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, all the people started. Did you see all the people ran up and jumped on him like that?
4 people threw themselves in front of him.
Yeah.
He's got the king swagger. Did you hear what they said about the first of all, they just called him Rick, the widow, and the king. the three, whatever you want to call them, that they were saying like the heads of these groups.
Rick, the widow, and the king.
The widow and the king.
Who's the widow? The Garbage Pail Kids?
No, Maggie.
Oh, Maggie's the widow. Oh, okay. So
and King Ezekiel.
And King Ezekiel.
Because they know Gregory's nobody anymore. So yeah, it's those three. But I love that it's just like Rick. It's like Batman. You know, you just say one word and you know who it is. Oh,
Rick.
It's Rick, the widow, and the king. The other two are like nicknames. He should have been the sheriff.
The sheriff, the widow, and the king.
Yeah,
That'd be
the
cool.
sheriff, the widow, and the
I like
king. That would have been sweet.
I like that a lot. Dude, speaking of things that I like, I don't know, this on Walking Dead subject, but like the Apple iTunes, like the iTunes artwork, like on the Apple TV is fucking sick, dude.
For what?
For The Walking Dead. It's got the Walking Dead logo like stacked in the middle, and it's like Rick on one side with the fucking axe and Negan on the other side with the fucking bat, like going at each other. It's fucking badass, dude.
Do you think we get that at the end of the season? Do you think?
I don't know about at the end of the season, but like at some point, yeah, I would think so.
So do you think ultimately Rick kills Negan? I mean,
I already said that.
But soon?
I said I don't know about soon, but this Negan storyline has to end with Rick beating Negan to death with Lucille. That's the only way it goes.
Yeah?
That's the way it ends. Has to. There's no other satisfaction than that.
I mean, yeah.
Even for the audience.
Unless Daryl got to do something.
Or if Daryl beat him to death with either one of those two people beating him to death with Lucille. Or fucking taking turns.
Or
like
Maggie.
Here, bink! Tosses it to Maggie getting a shot. Why not let everybody get a fucking shot? So everybody's standing in a circle, passing Lucille around, beating him in the face with it.
I'd go with legs and stuff to start. Build your way up to the head. Rick gets the head.
Just beat him all the way up.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds cruel, but you know that's the whole shit.
This is a cruel world.
That's the whole shit that. Well, that's why this world needs smilers. We had King Ezekiel; he was smiling.
Jerry's
shot. Carol
smiler.
was a smiler.
Carol's a fake
officially
smiler.
a smiler.
No.
And then they had whistlers.
Who would you call officially a smiler?
Well, I mean, Jerry is a smiler. Of course.
He's officially a smiler.
He said,
but I thought you were talking about Carol.
And
Carol,
I smile.
Carol was a
and
fake
Carol
smile.
smiles.
Carol's a fake smile. She just put it on just for
They were
everyone.
announcing smilers, so I wrote down smilers. King Ezekiel, Carol.
No,
and then they started whistling, and I was like, oh, whistlers, the saviors. It just made me laugh. Like we were just telling people what they do, just calling them, he smiles.
It's just like with Snap Judgment. Oh, so you see somebody for the first time and they're whistling. Oh, you're the whistler.
Yeah, you're the whistler. Exactly. So they end up taking
the first
out...
time I've ever whistled. What? Why is that my nickname now? No.
No, I'm
that's
not a
cool.
whistler.
I'm just practicing for the first time. Somebody taught me how to do it.
Yeah, somebody just was like, have you ever whistled before?
Right.
And I was like, no.
I
and
tried for the first time. And then you saw me and now I'm the whistler? Fuck that.
And then you literally just said, that just happened. And then now I'm the whistler. Hashtag the whistler.
That was a weird tangent, but okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Rick and Morales.
I mean, look at an hour-long conversation. Jesus Christ. Daryl, come in.
You're not talking into the mic, so Morales didn't know he was in the same, or didn't know he was the same Rick from Alexandria.
What do you mean he didn't know?
He didn't know he was the same Rick from Alexandria.
Oh, that he knew from back in
he heard of Rick,
Atlanta,
but he didn't know it was that Rick.
Oh wow, that's weird.
Yeah. Morales says they aren't the same guys they used to be. Rick is a monster. They don't kill Rick, the widow, or the king if they don't have to. I mean, I love the nickname thing.
So then how did he know he was Rick?
No, when he saw him just then.
Yeah, but how did he know he was that Rick?
He didn't. That's what he said. Oh, how did he know he was Rick from Alexandria? Because in context, it makes sense.
Right.
Oh, you're that Rick. Duh. That's...
okay.
Yeah, obviously. Now I see it. Yeah, I can't believe I missed that before kind of thing. Let's see. I'm just going to stick with the Rick and Morales. Well, no, I can't because they fucking... All the things intertwine otherwise. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
We're just
talking
general
about the basic
discussion about the episode. It's cool,
yeah. Okay, so Rick asks about Morales' family. They didn't make it to Birmingham. And Rick says he's sorry. He lost people too. Lori, Shane, Andrea, Glenn. And he says, like, Negan killed him in front of his pregnant wife. And
Right.
Morales seems surprised Glenn met someone. He's like, in this? Like, about finding a wife? He's
Right.
like, in this? Yeah, I mean, it was...
Right, because Glenn was just like a kid when back in season 1, wearing a fucking baseball jersey and shit, wasn't he?
Right. Or yeah.
Something like that.
I thought it was like pizza delivery.
Or a pizza delivery, something like that.
Maybe not. Yeah. I really don't remember. But yeah, I don't even think it was a commentary on how young he was. I think it's just that Morales hadn't even considered that he could find love now after his family had died.
Right.
You know, and Glenn found and married somebody. You know,
Right.
I mean, that
was
is
getting
notable,
ready to
I
have
think.
like a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, to go back to the example of why you shouldn't do that, what happened to Glenn? Like, why it's almost a bad idea to do some shit like that in this world.
Well, but he does get to live on through the baby, so there's that positive to it. They had to start the next generation somewhere.
Right.
And I mean, obviously they're adding to it now.
Well, that's a legacy I get you're leaving behind.
Yeah.
Like, and Glenn was probably, he didn't expect to die, but...
Yeah, I mean, he had done all he could do, so to speak. I mean, if he hadn't got her pregnant yet, he wouldn't have served his purpose.
Right.
But he did. So that served his, you know what I mean? Overall, not trying to be cold about his death, but like that was, he'd fulfilled all the things all the boxes he could tick, you know, just.
Okay. So
So,
just other characters have more boxes. Is what
right.
it is.
Right. So Morales says, "Oh, she's the widow," and then he asks him if he's Negan too. Yeah, he lost his family and his mind, and the Saviors thought he was worth a damn.
So Morales couldn't have been in but like what, 1 or 2 episodes at the beginning?
I
Like
think
when
they left
split?
when they went to Atlanta. When they were going to go to Atlanta to the CDC, Morales decided to take off. So I think that was 5 or so, maybe.
Okay.
It might have been the finale of the season. I can't remember if they were already at the CDC or not. Yeah, they were, because 5 ended with that.
And then there was the chick that decided to stay inside of there.
Yes, the black chick.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. Jacqueline, I think.
Yeah,
Something
she
like
decided to stick around.
that. So Morales says they're both assholes who will do whatever it takes to keep going. And Rick's like, if the situation were reversed, I know I wouldn't want to do it. He's like, that's the best you got, man.
No, because the dude's like, if the situation was reversed, you'd have put a hole in my head by now. And he's like,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
no,
have
but I
wanted
wouldn't have wanted to. Right? Like, that's it. That's it.
And he says Officer Friendly died along with the
shit.
others. And Jeremy looked at me and he goes, who's Officer Friendly? He was, no, Rick.
That was Rick.
You know,
I don't remember them calling him Officer
they
Friendly, but it's been a
didn't,
long time ago.
Imagine
man.
what they would have thought, though. They were there surviving in that group in the campsite for however long. They witnessed it all happen, and they found that group, and then Rick wakes up and strolls into it. So you'd be fucking mocking him, too. You'd be like, okay, Officer Friendly.
Right.
You know, so it was probably just one of those kind of things where that's just what he remembered him as in a non-flattering way. You know, because he doesn't seem to have any care for Rick at all. He doesn't seem to give a shit, really.
No, right.
Other than he's not allowed to kill him, you know, if he doesn't have to.
Well, that's because he's Negan.
Right.
But but you know what? During that conversation, you almost they do a good job of this in the show. But like him explaining a little bit like what happened. I lost my family. You know, they didn't make it. Would he say I crawled up into something and was waiting to die?
Yeah.
And
They found me, yeah.
found me and gave me a purpose and gave me, you know, like, so I can understand him like totally taking up for that side, you know, like I get it. Like,
yeah.
Some people have different
It's like
stories from that.
Eugene. I mean,
Yeah.
Eugene's 100% in because of the benefits to him, obviously. But, well, Daryl, you know, kills Morales without hesitation, and he knew who he was and says it doesn't matter.
Not one bit.
Yeah, no guns, and boom, the Saviors are here. So they're under attack. Rick shoots the fire extinguisher to let them across. They push a few down the elevator shaft,
Right.
and then they go outside. Now, so I got to back up to get to some of the stuff that was going on outside.
Okay.
Yeah, they still seem to be fighting at the outpost. I mean, again, I didn't realize these two places were the same. Last week we discussed them as if there were 3 different locations, and we find out that it is the same place that Rick and Daryl are at.
Right.
Because they called down
was
for Aaron.
Right.
And, yes, who was downstairs. They stopped shooting at the Alexandrians and focus on the inside. I didn't quite understand that.
I don't know. I think they called him back in or something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, all of that
I
was
see
kind
what
of
you mean.
confusing.
Called them back in. That was what Morales did. He called them back in from outside. So they were going inside to get Rick and Daryl.
Rick and Daryl.
That makes sense.
Okay. So, but see, like we didn't. I know we like. I don't know. They don't really. Not doing a good job of like.
I think it's
making it
supposed to be
evident.
part of the mystery. I mean, it's supposed to be part of the
Confusion.
You have to figure it out. Yeah, it's war. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's intentional confusion. If they wanted to make it more obvious, they could have.
I guess. Yeah.
They could have showed us a wide shot of the building and then cut to showing upstairs and then cut to Rick inside. You know what I mean? They could have
Right.
easily told us. Aaron tries to help Eric, and the bullet went straight through. They have a little scene. You didn't like the scene. You just said it wasn't a fulfilling, like, death scene kind of a thing. Like
I just didn't
goodbye.
like the way listen, it was, and I guess it could have supposed to have been that way, like they wanted it that way. But
Yeah,
it was
the
like
guy- 'cause
so
he's so-
cliche. Like
Were you
get
the one
off,
who shot
you
me?
get off your ass. Yeah,
Yeah.
were you the one who shot me? Don't be sorry. You get off your ass and get back out there and win this fight. Like it was just
Right.
like.
Now you stand your ass up and get back to the fight. Yeah, I mean,
like,
he
come on,
was
man.
corny. I think that was all
Intentional.
that was. Is that he couldn't stop with the faces.
But like,
He's
if they were
always making
supposed to make
faces
us
I can't
like
stand.
him, like
I don't know that they were. I mean, I don't think we have to like everybody.
No, we don't,
Even
but-
though they're a sympathetic character in this sense, I don't think we have to love Eric to feel bad that he died because it impacts Aaron, and we don't want to see Aaron get hurt necessarily. I mean, he
Right.
feels like one of those that shouldn't be killable at this point for a while. Anyway.
no, he's a main character.
He
for a
should
little
be
bit.
a main character. Yeah, well, I liked what Eric said though. He's because he was like, "No, I apologize to you because I dragged you into this fight," and he's like, "And you didn't want to do it." And he goes, "Yeah, until I did want to fight, basically, And at that point, it's on me. And
Right.
that happened before today." So obviously, I wanted to fight. So I liked him kind of taking the blame himself and not pushing it off on Aaron.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Well,
emotionally.
yeah.
I mean, that'd be a dick move. To,
Yeah,
as
right
you're
before you
dying.
go out, like, this is all your fault.
This is all your fault. What? What?
That's bullshit. Like, really? You're really going to do this right now? Because I'll argue with you. If you want to spend your last breaths arguing, we can do that.
Okay, so let's see. So where are we back with them? Geez, where the hell are they all at? Okay, at the outpost. Walkers are everywhere. Daryl and Rick take them out. Rick takes more pictures. That's me in the zombie apocalypse. I'm finding cameras and things so I can post to Instagram, because Instagram is the one service that still works in the zombie apocalypse for whatever reason.
Whatever reason, they have like an underground compound with just like the
Yeah, the Instagram
like
offices
an
are
atomic generator downstairs.
Yeah.
Just
It
consistent
just-
power,
just
just so it
works.
never goes off.
right.
Instagram is apocalypse proof.
They pack up and head back to Alexandria after covering their dead. Please, somebody make an app that's apocalypse proof, apocalypse proof. I would love an app that I know forever my stuff will be there. YouTube, make yourself apocalypse proof, please.
There you go.
I would like that one.
Yeah, they just store their servers in an underground
Yeah,
bomb
just so that
bunker.
there's no
So it's
chance.
just like after we're gone, the next generation humanity finds your fucking blogs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They found my vlogs and they're like, I watch Chronological Joel.
Shit.
Search hashtag Chronological Joel. Anyway, they
The next
pack.
generation of human beings is just all they do is watch TV.
They pack up and head back to Alexandria after covering their dead. The 6 that were there were their people who had died, right? That they put blankets over.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they would have done
No,
that.
they
for...
didn't do that for the
So
saviors.
Rick writes a note, and then folds it up and doesn't. I didn't see him do anything with it. He just wrote a note.
No, that was his note that he's been carrying from the video
Oh,
with
you
all
think
of
that
the
was
information and
crossing
shit
off?
on it. That he was
Gotcha.
crossing shit off, yeah.
Okay. Aaron goes back to the tree, and Eric's gone. He sees zombie Eric walking. Aaron's distraught. Black guy tells Aaron that's not him. It was definitely him. Like, he shouldn't have lied to him. That was obviously Eric.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not him. Like, it's
I don't
not
think-
him
yeah, you
anymore
say
kind of
it.
shit. I get that, but lame.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole thing was kind of lame.
So they're talking about leaving, and Rick brings out the baby girl, and Aaron offers to take her to Hilltop.
I have to.
He says Eric and he were going to go there after all this and update Maggie anyway. And he's given Gracie. And then Rick and Daryl are calmly talking, and someone starts shooting at them. Rick calls out the lone gunman behind the tree. Now, you said that was the guy.
At the beginning of last episode, that the mean chick from that got her neck bit,
Yeah.
that she
tossed
him
him back because he was
doing something wrong, and she gave him shit, and she sent him away. So he was kind of a pussy dude anyway, and then right.
Yeah, so Rick and Daryl, they're talking, and he tells him there's a herd coming, and then Rick offers a deal. Drop your gun, come out, and tell him what we need to know, and you can take a car and live. And the guy asks why he can trust him, and Rick gives him his word, and he's like, a man's word has got to mean something, right? That sounds like a Shane quote.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is for certain, but
something
that sounds like something Shane would say. Yeah.
For sure.
He agrees and comes out, and he asks if they had any guns here. They did for a while. They took them yesterday to Gavin's. And Daryl shoots the guy in the head, and Rick is sort of bothered by it. Like, he looks at him like, but it wasn't like
I gave him my word. Not Daryl didn't give him his word.
So you think Rick is that technicality asshole then, where he would be like, well, I never said he wouldn't kill you. Like, that doesn't feel like something Rick would do necessarily. Or do you think he's crossed that threshold to where he would do that now?
I mean,
because that'll tell you how he would have dealt with the people who surrendered then. And I don't know necessarily that Rick would have just shot them all in cold blood.
I don't think he would have.
I think he would have Khaleesi'd them and given them the opportunity and then burned them with a dragon. Sort of thing.
Or a flamethrower that he conveniently found.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be cool, actually, if they found a flamethrower. Just a flamethrower.
Flaming zombies.
So, yeah, he shoots him, and Rick is like, meh. So, thoughts on Rick, Daryl storyline? I mean, you said you had fun watching them hang out together, because that's not often that they do.
No, anymore. It's not often that those two characters are together like that, and I do enjoy, I have been enjoying those two side-by-side fighting, the two, like fucking Butch and the Sundance Kid and shit, or whatever it is, I had something I was going to say about Rick, and I can't think of I'll think of it later. But they did a good job fighting together in the hallway. Like, you'd be communicating together and not like...
With the fire extinguisher gimmick thing where the shoots that and it just sprays out conveniently.
Bulletproof smoke that they could just run through and not get shot.
Okay, now I could see, shoot it, wait a couple seconds, and then he runs through. But shoot it, yell, come on! Like, why wouldn't they just
go... he's going to run now. Like spray, right.
Stupid. Yeah. I mean, that didn't make any sense. The other stuff was, let's see, on the highway. Tara pretends to pick off the hostages one by one, with a gun, and they say Maggie will know what to do with them. The savior who Morgan almost killed is whistling and smiling.
So we know that. Okay, here's what.
Oh shit, he's doing both.
You said what?
He's smiling and whistling.
Who is?
The guy that was fucking with Morgan.
He's a smiler and a whistler.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so what I was going to say about Rick and Daryl was that you asked if Rick if he crossed the threshold or not. We know Daryl has. You know what Daryl would want to do with the hostages.
Daryl isn't... I don't know that Daryl's necessarily crossed a threshold so much as Daryl rightfully has anger towards these people because they easy streeted him.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget
Yeah.
that he sat in that shit eating shit sandwiches for who knows how long. I mean, I don't blame him for a second for being like, yeah, no, fuck these people specifically.
And he shot that dude in the head. Boom, right. Yeah.
They all deserve it. And I mean, Morales, same thing. No hesitation. Just like, yep, fuck him. He gave us all the info we could get out of him.
I know who he was.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, not one bit.
So Jesus is being all cocky, like, oh, we're taking them to the hilltop. It has been decided. He speaks for them as people. There are many kinds of danger, many kinds of dying. We don't execute. And Morgan's like, yeah, I have. I've totally done that. Which, yeah.
Well, that was after the whole, I will kill people or you will kill and have, and we don't execute. I have.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, exactly. They were comparing.
Yeah.
They were dick waving contests already.
Yeah. Yeah, that was before they battled it out before.
Yeah, so the Savior thinks he knows what's different about Morgan. His armor, it's smaller, it's shrunk or something.
This guy.
That was don't tell me that was the kid's armor. Why are you wearing that? That didn't do shit for him. I mean, then the walkers start falling down the hill, and they look fucked, man. Like the walkers are
decaying to nothing.
Yes. Right. I mean, they're nearly a joke at this point. Nearly.
Right.
Like, I mean, they're still killing people, but they were all tied up and shit.
We haven't seen a huge herd in a while. As far
I
as
mean, we
walkers
did,
go,
but they
like,
blew it up. Or they were blowing up stuff to lead the herd, remember?
oh, the huge herd is
at the Negan compound.
Negan compound, right.
So they start eating the saviors. The rope gang takes off into the woods, and Morgan chases them, and the rest decide to stay put. The one guy at the beginning of the second rope was like, "Okay, we're going," and he's like, "Yeah, no." It trips him, and he's like, "They have guns."
Right. We're staying.
Yeah.
So maybe you can convince that guy
to join the team.
The team, maybe.
Well, I mean, so do you think that it's even possible that I mean, they're right. They're in war. Once the war is over, everybody's going to settle the fuck down. And they're going to have to live together or not.
Right.
You know, so I think people would be more prone to wanting to live together than not.
Well, and like I think we discussed it last week too, like some of these people have to be following Negan out of fear rather than admiration.
Oh, look at this guy.
I thought I turned it off.
Psh, who keeps their ringer on for text messages? Psh, psh, Bush League.
What?
I don't know. I never do that. It's annoying getting text message alerts like that. I don't mind the vibration.
Well, that's
the
because
actual,
you fucking like 90 million texts at a time.
Right,
My phone doesn't go off that often.
It just doesn't fucking stop. So it felt like they were leading Morgan into a trap, even though it ended up being a Jesus trap and not really a trap at all.
Trap. Who was leading him into a trap?
It felt like the rope
chain
gang. Yeah,
the rope gang.
Yeah, I wanted to say chain gang, but they weren't chains. They're roped up.
I mean,
it felt like maybe they
like
were leading...
like that dude's not that quick.
I mean, he seemed pretty alert and pretty. I don't know.
Yeah, but to come up with a plan to trap Morgan,
he knew
like Morgan
that
wasn't that
kid's,
far behind him.
He knew that was the kid's armor when he brought it up. You know, he didn't just figure that shit out as he was saying it. He was fucking with Morgan. Right. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It just felt like maybe he had a backup plan. That's all. And then
like, why
and Morgan
wasn't
was
it
falling
that
right
dude that
into
Morgan shoots in the face? Like,
because
really?
he needs to. Because he's memorable, and so he's gonna be one of those people that when Morgan gets to kill him, it'll be satisfying.
Right.
Jesus takes the gun from Morgan after he kills one of them. After he catches up to him, and Morgan says, "Once you turn, you know, it's not like you're gonna turn back." Although he changed, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's going.
He must be more clear than Turtle at this point.
Clear, yeah.
Jesus thinks Maggie will find another way, and Morgan's like, "We are the same as them." Jesus says they're gonna have to find a way to peace, and then Morgan and Jesus fight.
Right.
Jesus is good at dodging. You know,
I mean, dude, he was. I mean, he, like I said, he almost had. He's got some sort of martial arts training for sure.
Exactly. He keeps offering Morgan to stop. You know, like that's like some sensei shit where you don't want to be fighting. Yeah, you done?
Right.
Jesus gets a few good shots in after Morgan does the same. Jesus takes a stick and fights Morgan off, and he's like, "Is it over?" And he gives him the stick back, and Morgan puts it to his throat, and he's like, "Is it?" And then Morgan seems to like his eyes,
like he snaps back into place.
He's like, what? And Morgan's like, "I'm not right. I know that, but that doesn't make me wrong." And Tara's like, "Yeah, you're definitely right, but." And Morgan says he can't be a part of this, and literally just walks into the jungle.
Like walks into the forest, like not back towards the road. Like he was going towards the direction that the chain gang was running, which was into the forest. Like I was like, he's just gonna wander off into the forest by himself. Like This is it. Like he's just going back to by himself, wandering Morgan now. That's weird. Let's see what happens. Yeah, but what do you want to bet? He's gone for a few episodes now. Like he pops back up somewhere else to save the day.
We go to the hilltop where Enid is watching from the wall. Gregory returns, and he says, he needs help. And the gates crack open a bit, and it's Maggie. God. This fucking gnat right in my face, or whatever it's stupid is. She realizes he has Gabriel's car and asks what he's doing here, and he's like, "I live here. I built this place. Some of us didn't just show up."
And she said, "Shut your damn mouth."
Exactly. That was I don't know why I was laughing out loud at it. I thought it was really funny.
Right.
She's pissed. She knows about what he did for the Saviors, and he tries to backpedal.
She also knows about Gabriel's car.
Yeah. And
where's Gabriel? What a fucking little liar.
He tries to dismiss what Cal said, and Cal hears him.
Right.
It's like, hey, I mean, that was pretty good.
Gives him the finger.
Yeah, Gregory admits to going there because he was scared. He didn't want to be complicit because he thought they couldn't win. He now sees the Saviors can't be reasoned with, and fighting them is the only way. He says he was wrong, and he apologizes.
Again, just trying to save his own ass.
Is this who you are? He begs like a little bitch, and
Right.
Maggie agrees to let him in, and she tells Enid he's not worth killing. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, but in the next scene, he's like acting like the leader again. Like,
Yes.
get your fucking ass out of here, buddy.
Yeah, he's acting like he's the shit.
Right.
And Maggie tells Gregory to go, and Tara's like, I sort of agree with the douchebag that we shouldn't let them in. And
she's right.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely right. Jesus,
That's a lot of people. It's not just like 5 people.
but that could be a lot of people that. Look, like, I think what they're saying is simply that if these people were not forced to be with Negan, what would they be like? Would they be fine in our society? Do you really think that if these people, I mean, maybe the douchebag that's been fucking with Morgan aside, the rest of them, do you really think that if Negan was taken out of power and they saw it happen,
like some of them would be, some of them wouldn't be. I think some of them, like I said, like
you think they would fight no matter what? Like they're even knowing they're going to die if they don't get on Team Rick after Negan is
some
killed.
Some of them have completely bought in, and some of them are all ruled by fear of being,
So I mean, I guess Jesus
you're
is just
burnt
hedging
with the
his
fucking
bets.
iron, and all that shit that he does.
So then-
those public demonstrations of fear.
So what do you do then? Do you kill them? As if Maggie, from that point of view, from the widow, the king, or the sheriff.
You can't, even in war, man. Like, you can't. Well, I haven't.
Well, no.
Even in war, you can't just execute people who've surrendered. Like, that's the universal sign for putting your hands up. I've surrendered. Okay, I get it. Like, but on the other hand,
look what the King Ezekiel did this episode. They surrendered, and then next thing you know, there are people's coming up behind them and killing all of the people that were there to shoot them.
They used the surrender as a...
Yeah, they cheated the surrender.
Yeah.
They cried wolf with the surrender, and eventually, the surrender's not going to mean the surrender anymore.
Again, this is all tough moral ground here. Like, at one point, like, do you ever think you could trust any of these people? Do you have the time to go through like an in-depth interview process to like try to get a read on some of these people to see what kind of people they are, or if they would turn on you, or if they're completely Negan, or if they're ruled out of fear?
So you're suggesting the thing like what Spencer's mom did when they got there, when they got
almost
to
like a
Alexandria.
video, like a. You know what? That's a really good point. Something
she
like
was
that.
vetting them.
She was vetting them, right? Like trying to like getting a like almost not a background check, but trying to get a background check without the internet.
Right. The fact that tape still exists is pretty awesome. Of Rick, then with the big beard and everything.
It still exists. Like he still has all
Negan
that
showed it to him. He was like,
Oh,
man,
right.
if this was the person, I wouldn't have fucked with this guy.
Right.
That's about it for all the things that occurred in this episode, because we already talked through the King Ezekiel stuff. They end up at the last place all cocky, standing out in the middle of the open, and then boom, shots fired, and that's the end of the episode.
It's almost like the same thing with like what's going on with Game of Thrones right now.
Okay.
It's all out
Spoilers
war.
for Game of Thrones, possibly. I mean, are you going to keep it vague
Go ahead.
enough?
I'm glad you said that, but
Yeah.
like I wasn't going to go too far, but like it's all out war now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like the storyline is pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of bobbing and weaving anymore.
Right.
Like,
It was
at
all
this
building
point,
up
like,
to it. Yeah.
This show's not ending like Game of Thrones is, but like with The Walking Dead, like this point with the Rick and Negan storyline, this is what it is now. It's all out war. So there's not a lot of, I mean, like they threw a little twist at us with the 50 cal guns, and them moving them the day before that, which just tells me that I don't think Dwight's lying. I think Negan's playing Dwight.
Right, for sure.
Right.
Dwight is going to get outed, and he's going to get killed, and we're going to feel bad for him.
And we're going to feel bad because he was a redeemable character.
I'm
like
telling
you,
you,
at the
that
very
was
beginning.
too. I mean, as soon as he appeared, it was like, you know what? They're gonna figure out a way to turn this dude around.
And they did.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they've managed to make him sympathetic with the whole wife story.
And I don't believe that he now. If there a plot twist that would kind of throw me for a loop, even though we're talking about it right now, is if he was fucking with them. If he's on Negan's side the whole time, and he.
But Negan was fucking his wife.
I know
and,
that,
I mean,
but like. He could be Negan.
He could be.
You know what I'm saying? And like that could be the other side of it. That would be like, oh shit to me. Like I would be like, holy shit. Like that's a pretty, even though we're saying it now, that would be a pretty good plot twist to me.
You said something a minute ago about the way that it's in All Out War in Game of Thrones too, and how, it's just building towards that at the end.
Right.
I think even while we were watching the last season of Lost, I was thinking the same kind of a thing where like a bunch of twists could still happen.
But it wasn't.
It didn't need to be.
No.
And for some reason, I forget that the twists and turns need to be the first few seasons to set up where you're eventually going.
You would get the ends of those twists and turns at the end, and then everything's pretty straightforward.
So that's going to help me in Game of Thrones for the final season now, because I keep expecting, well, what if they do this? And what if they come up with this twist?
And you know what? We're doing that same thing, but it's all pretty straightforward now. Like,
yeah, I think it's going to be...
It's good versus bad now. This is what it is. It's boom, head to head.
Even though the guy said it wasn't. But, I mean, this show, I don't know that you can boil it down to something like that. I don't know how this show ever ends.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like,
but the ratings are not
that's
good
why
at the
I
moment.
specifically said the ratings aren't good?
8.5 million compared to like 18 million for the season 7 premiere.
Season 7 premiere or 8 premiere?
7 premiere, when they
Why
resolved
do you think that
the
is?
cliffhanger of who Negan killed. Because people wanted to see who he killed and then faded out after that.
See, the ratings have been going down since season 7? So
I'm
maybe they
gonna
need to
look
wrap
up
the
the
shit up
ratings.
then, man.
I mean, that 8 million is still a huge number.
For a TV show, yes. Yes, it is. When they talk about sports ratings, that shit is on a whole different level, dude. Like the NFL ratings and MLB ratings and shit like that. Like low for them is like 14. 14 million. You know what I mean? Like it's... But like... they need to come up with a different system for even, like, kind of that. Because, like, are they counting the people that are watching, like, via an app?
Yeah, I think they do.
You know?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. There's not an easy way to really... Oh, okay, here we go. Boom. So, season 8, the first...
How do you count it if, like, it's on one cable box, but 12 people are in the room watching it? Like, how do you?
No,
that's
per household. That's just how they do it. They've always done the Nielsen ratings.
That's what I mean. Like, I think they have to come up with a new system other than that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, 100% of that needs to be done. But
not right.
Based on what it is,
right.
Last season, the season premiere was 17.03 million people watched. This season, the premiere was 11.44. So they lost 5.5 million people in one season. It started at 11.44. It's down to 8.5.
So is it okay? Now is there
to be fair, the other seasons had a major drop off as well.
Okay,
it would be 17 to 12.
But like, I don't know that isn't people like that don't get a chance to watch it,
just trying to jump in,
or like don't get a chance to watch it when it's on, and are binge watching it on Netflix. Like,
right?
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, they need to come up with a new system for quantifying like how many people are watching.
Yeah.
Because this show isn't going anywhere. Like, is there like, okay? Can I get to this question? Is there negative feedback on this season?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know.
Like, is there people like coming with like a lot of like problems with it?
People were complaining that there were a lot of bullets flying and not a lot of people dying, but I call bullshit on that because there were people dying all over the place. It wasn't main characters.
No, see, but if that's what they meant, then like, how you can't just be fucking dropping main characters.
But I mean, people were
like,
dying. 6 people died on the Alexandria side, and a lot of people died on the Savior's side at that compound where Rick and them were.
And how many people did the fucking King's people kill? I mean, there was at least fucking 15, 20 people that ran out of the woods that they killed.
Yeah.
And then all the people inside of that compound, before the end, they killed a bunch of people in there.
A lot of people died. If you think nobody died, you weren't paying attention.
What the hell are you watching, man? I don't mean to be a rude or a dick or anything, but if you don't think people are dying in the show, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah,
are you watching the PG version of Walking Dead? Because yes, people are dying
You're
constantly.
watching the Sesame Street
What are you
Halloween
watching?
special.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, people were getting killed all over the place. I don't
Maybe
know.
people aren't getting necessarily hit by bullets, but people are dying.
Yeah.
Like there's zombies coming out of places
Right.
and eating them.
I mean, I can see the complaint in terms of how do they have so many bullets. It doesn't make sense to me that after seemingly being at a shortage of stuff like that, that Rick and Daryl only run out of bullets then.
What
like,
do you
Jesus
want to bet
Christ.
that comes up to be a problem, though? Like, they're setting that up to be a problem.
Yeah.
Like, they're purposely showing us them dumping fucking
Dude,
hundreds and hundreds
just-
of bullets for them to come up like, oh, fuck, we don't have any bullets.
You just explained, you just did the rope-a-dope. You just explained Muhammad Ali, like letting the dude throw a bunch of punches and wearing himself out to where then he can just punch and boom.
Right.
So that's what Negan might be doing. Letting
Oh, the
Rick
rope-a-dope.
use all his shit and just hanging out and chilling. And then this whole time Eugene's making bullets. That's why he took Eugene.
That's why he took you. You know what? Like, that's... like
It's not going
they're
to
in
be
a
an easy
factory.
fight to beat Negan still.
No.
I hope it's not. I mean, I want it to be a massive battle.
I'll tell you what.
But
He took out his main compound, no? I mean,
for the most part,
like you put
Negan is in that-
a significant dent into that thing, and he's trapped inside of this trailer with we haven't gone back to in three fucking episodes.
With Gabriel in his shitting pants.
That was in the first episode, right?
Yeah, I think so.
For fuck's sake. Can we go back there? Let's
No,
find out
we're
what's
not
going
going to
on.
get any Negan for a little. I mean, maybe we get him next episode.
Why do you say we're not going to
I
get
don't know, because a little Negan goes a long way.
It does, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? Like, that character could get worn out very quickly.
Yes.
So don't keep him on screen too much because...
Which is why, like, I did hear a significant fan of the show. Not that he's like more of a fan than anybody else, but just somebody that I talked to
Who's big
pays
into the show,
attention
yeah.
and knows the show, and like he's like, and doesn't read the comic book. Not a comic book guy. He's so he's not going from that.
Right.
He's like, I didn't see the Negan thing being a 2-season arc. He's like, I really didn't see it being that long.
Yeah.
I think that, but they've trained us that way,
Right,
though,
because
because
there
of
was
the way
the
that they've
one
done
season
things.
baddies.
Right, and then the whole Terminus thing, where like you leading up to this whole thing, and then you get there
just
and you
pull the
ended
rug
it.
out from underneath
You know,
it,
I'm
yeah.
like,
See? Oh, see?
But-
Fucking gnat.
so like, but it was almost like that he didn't care for it that much.
What's that?
Like a little Negan goes a long way with this guy that I was talking to. Like he's just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
oh yeah.
I didn't see it being 2 seasons long. Like I'm a little,
Like I'm bored with
like I'm
Negan
bored
already.
with it already. Like,
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting power dynamic. I don't want to see Negan disappear necessarily. I mean, I'd like to see him get killed, but then what? I mean, then Rick
then we
is
get to
the
watch
shit.
Rick and them chase guns around the.
But
fucking
why would they be
Eastern
chasing
Seaboard.
guns? They've defeated their biggest enemy.
Yeah, but
So
there's
then it
always
would
going to be
be-
more enemies, man. Otherwise, what are we watching?
I don't know what we're watching. That's what I.
Do
that's,
you really just want to watch Calm Alexandria, where they're
I'm-
like farming and building, and like this is the only?
I'd
like,
be fine
their,
with a
their only
flash
problems is like,
forward.
how do we irrigate the crops? Or the problems that they're going to come across? Like at that point, you're watching Little House on the Prairie.
Okay, but it's still in a world where there's there's walkers outside, and I don't know what I want from the show, but I don't know that it.
And like,
that
what
it
can
will
another
give it to
bad be?
us.
Like, how much bigger can you get than Negan? Like, what can you do besides making the zombies a bigger threat? Like, okay, now they can run.
Right, something
But,
changes.
you know
with
what I mean?
that.
Like, I'm
The
see,
The
to me,
Running
like
Dead,
the
season
running
9.
Dead, like I'm telling you what, that like if there was a zombie apocalypse ever fucking really happens,
I knew they were
I
running.
think we've had this discussion before, but like if they're like these walkers, okay, I mean that's survivable. If the fuckers can run and
Yeah,
jump
you're
and shit,
screwed.
we're fucking screwed. There's no
If
way.
they can climb
if they can
and-
climb and run and jump, you're done.
Yeah.
No, if they can like chase, if you can climb up like on this one, they climb up on roofs and they're looking down like, oh fuck, we got away. Like if those motherfuckers can like just jump up with you, like you're fucking screwed. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
if they
it's
can
done.
run and chase you down, like yeah, you're done. There's no way we're surviving that. Like the world ends immediately at that point.
I plan on continuing to do this podcast, but I genuinely don't know what I expect from the show anymore. I enjoy I enjoy watching it, but at the same time, I don't know where it's going long term.
Should we check and see if there's a fire?
It's not a fire. Jen didn't turn on a fan or something when they were
cooking,
and it's no big deal.
So
But
are you disappointed?
no, not at this point. This show's been going great this season.
I think it's been going pretty good.
I'm thinking more big picture.
I think it's better than...
Where do they go post Negan? I guess I'm looking too far ahead. Why bother?
Well, like
just enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. And I
don't want it to be
sometimes
over.
that, like, exactly, but like, I think you have it stuck in your head that this show can't end, and it has to end at some point.
I mean, I don't know why I feel that way,
You know
but I
what,
feel
the
like
money,
it's going to go
the money,
for a
like,
long
and
time.
the
They have fear.
ratings they'll get.
They still have Fear the Walking Dead.
But the ratings they'll get for doing the final season, the final episode, all the fucking promo that comes with that, and like that shit, like they'll make millions of dollars that way.
I just don't. I don't.
I know
see
it's
how
ending, but come on, like, dude, the Game of Thrones finale, like everybody in the fucking world is gonna be watching that shit, man.
Except the people that are like, I'm
Except those assholes that are like, I've never seen a single episode. Fuck you. That's my response to that.
Okay, well,
That's the only response to that. I've never seen a single episode.
Leave comments, interact with us. We're open to hearing what you have to say on things.
If that makes you stop watching this show, I'm sorry.
No, they're not going to stop watching because you said fuck you if you can't stand Game of Thrones.
Right.
Or if you're one of those people that are boasting about not watching it, like that makes you special.
That's what I mean.
It makes
That's
you
the
no
guy
more
I'm saying
special.
fuck you to.
It makes you no more special than the people who claim to have watched every episode a billion times. It's just a thing. Watch it or don't,
right.
But don't brag
be an
about
asshole
not.
about it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, like I said, leave comments, send us emails, let us know what you think. Where
we didn't
we're
have
wrong
any
on
feedback to
stuff.
discuss this week.
I didn't see anything. Let me check the email real quick, just in case.
See, this is why shows have producers.
Oh, you know what? I am the producer.
I know you are, but like that's what I'm saying. Like this is like.
No, nobody sent us any emails.
So no feedback.
This is why I've already been producing the show, because I knew that would be the case. Okay, we'll see you next week because...
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.